bright face. What a wonderful sleep. The soul Neelambujasyamalkomalangam Sita Samaropitavamabhagam Panahu Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side and he is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Shri Ramcharitmanas, the Ramayana, in Ayodhya Kanda. And we are in Doha number 50. This, to be more precise, it's not Doha, it is called Sorata. Which is a little deviation from the rhythm of Doha. Sakinasi Kavanuddin Sunat Madhur Parinamahit Kainka Chukana Nakin Kutila Prabodhi Kubari. Sota number 50. And remember, this is the context here is Rama has come before King Dasharatha. And Kaikeyi has presented her two boons, two fingers. One boon, Bharata will be the heir apparent to the throne, her own son. And the second boon, let Rama go for 14 years in forest. In a storyline, it appears like something crooked in the mind of Kaikeyi that caused all this disturbance. But profounder way of understanding, if your life is moving joyously, but if you are not integrating your personality, you are not developing bhakti, devotion, you are not moving towards wisdom, then even though you are very comfortable, it is not desirable. You are comfortable on the basis of a dull-wit mind. The moment your mind becomes a little brighter, you will find yourself miserable. And so, Kaikeyi's role is to remove that dull-witted state. Everybody was rejoicing. Rama is going to be the heir apparent to the throne, and Ayodhya will enjoy Rama and all his brothers and their goodness. But that picture is a state of perfection in a spiritual movement. But perfection does not come unless you have gone into a profound transformation of your personality. So therefore, Kaikeyi's role is very profound. Without that role, you will not go any further than Ayodhya Kanda. Now follow the storyline. In the storyline, now you are being given the picture of how crooked Kaikeyi is and how much trouble she has inflicted on all Ayodhya, all people. Wonderful dreams of their minds have been thrown away. Wonderful imagination, their future expectation has been all blasted. Utarina dei dusahari saburuki mrighna chitava janu baghini bhukhi vyadhi asadhi jani tinha tyagi chali kahat mati mand abhagi. Friends of Kaikeyi, well-wishers, those who loved her very much, they all tried their best to bring Kaikeyi to her senses. And they said so many wonderful things about her good qualities and gave her the advice that if she wanted Bharata to rule, no harm in that. But why to send Rama into forest? Let him stay with Sage Valmiki. But she did not deviate from her firm state of mind about these two boons. While they are saying soft things and loving things for the Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi does not give them any answer. And internally, her heart is agitated. And in that agitation, she has no tender emotion, dried up heart, rukhi. The branch of a tree becomes dried up. Look at it. Compare with other branches. How does it look? Mrigana chittava janu baghini bhukhi. Another example, another simile is given. That she appeared like hungry tigress. And people around, they are like deer. And a hungry tigress looking at them. And the deer also are shocked with their eyes. They don't know what to do. They're mesmerized. See the psychological setup. When the friends of Kaikeyi came to that state, being deer with hungry tiger, they realized this Kaikeyi has incurable affliction. She has come to a state that cannot be cured. Vyadhi asadhi, incurable disease. And therefore, let's go. They all moved away. But while moving away, they all blabbered, scolding her, Babhagi, unfortunate, unlucky, miserable wretch. राजु करते यह दैन्य बिबियो बिगोई किन्हसी अस जस करई न कोई. While she was enjoying such royal glory, how destiny has perverted the intellect of Kaikeyi. No one would ever follow the example of Kaikeyi. यही विधि बिल पही पुर नर नारी देहि कुचाली कोटिक गारी. All people of the city, so the news spreads fast. One person tells another ear, and the another ear tells another, but it goes in geometrical progression. You tell two persons tell four persons tell 16 tell, no further. In geometrical progression. And within seconds, within few minutes and hours, the entire Ayodhya is resonating with that bad news. And here all those who have heard this news, of course all have heard it, and they are all shrieking, crying, expressing their immense frustration. And in that state of mind, they are showering millions of abusive words for Kaikeyi. In Hindi it's called gari dena. The same word means also a cart. If you are in a comfortable cart and cart suddenly crashes, how miserable it feels. Similarly, if you are comfortable with someone dumps on your head a mystic cart of abusive word, not one cart, kotik, millions of scolding words. Jarahi visham jar jehi ushasa kavani ram binu jivan asa. All are experiencing a burning sensation in their heart, something that is intolerable. Heavy breathing. All of them are expressing their despair that if Rama goes away, are we going to live? How can we live? Separation from Rama has caused tremendous affliction all over Ayodhya. Just like during a drought, when water begins to dry up, the forest all the animals, birds, fishes, all become agitated. That was the condition of Ayodhya. But try to understand, all this relates to day-to-day life in this world. Because Rama Rajya is not, the highest goal is for those who have attained enlightenment. For those who have not, they are dominated by manda buddhi, dull intellect. And with dull intellect you find a state where there is no fulfillment. In other words, think of your present world. Every moment, every day, your news come breaking on your screen. And whatever news comes is only a drop in the bucket. Because they have picked up some little news from all over the world. And all that is there. The awareness of all this trouble is because the mind is not aware of the truth. If you want to have very easy understanding, when you are looking at the world during the day, you see countless suns reflected in so many jars. And if your mind has become very restricted, you don't know about the sun, and you see only the reflected suns, and you are a journalist. So you start asking a set of reflected suns about their trouble, how did they happen, about their whole story. And those types of stories are countless, because there are countless reflected suns. But why all this, if you know the truth? A reflected sun is the sun. That is the reality of every reflected sun. The reality of every soul. You are whole, that's your reality. You are Purnam. But trouble is, that reality is being restricted by your mental set. Mind is in different states. Just like in so many buckets, there are different types of water in each bucket. The water condition is different. Therefore, no two reflected suns are exactly alike. No two souls seem to be exactly alike. Each one flows with a different type of story. In spite of all that, reality remains the same. The real I am in every individual, the real sun in every bucket, is one non-dual absolute. So, from the state of a very miserable concept of yourself, who am I? And all the biography of yours, from your childhood up till now, whatever you can imagine through your mind, all that is a big lie. Because the mind that is giving all this in itself is a shaky ground. It's a water that will dry up. mind that will not stay. It changes, and in the state of enlightenment, it burns up. Jarahi visham jar jehi usasa, kavani ram binu jivana asa. All people, they are as if being consumed in the fire of misery. They are taking heavy breathing, long breaths. Without Rama, how can we live? Ati vishad basalog lugain, ke matu pahi ram gosain. All men and women are experiencing intense misery. But coming back to the story of Rama, Rama went to see his mother. At this stage, Rama has already received heard those two boons from mother and father. Father didn't exactly say it with the words, but he shook his head. So then Rama is determined now that he has no problem. He will go to forest, and he goes to his mother to receive her blessings. Mukha prasanna chitta chau guna chau. Now, all Ayodhya is miserable. But Rama himself, chit prasanna, his heart is joyous. And it's radiating from his face, joy. If your heart has 1 ounce of happiness, its face is spilling out 4 ounces. So good. Mita sochu janira kairau. And when he had come to meet King Dasharatha at that first stage, he was worried that Kaikeyi has demanded the 2 boons and the king may fall back and not give the boons. And he was worried because he was counting upon the boons of Kaikeyi. But since both have said what they had to say, in other words, he has already received permission from father and mother, Kaikeyi's mother, Dasharatha's father. So now he doesn't have any difficulty, no worry about what will happen. Kaikeyi's demand and father's silence accepting it kept Rama's head cool. Now we must realize, why are people so agitated when Rama is so cool? Because people don't have a high level of understanding. Because Rama's going to forest is opening up a process of ridding the earth of demoniac forces and bringing about, in a very simple way, integration in the personality. A type of civilization for the world where People are encouraged to follow the path of integral yoga. Navagayandu Raghubira Manu Raju Alan Saman Chut Jani Ban Gavanu Suni Ura Anandu Adhikan. The state of mind of Rama is being described. His mind was like an elephant, a graceful elephant. And the idea that he was going to be coronated was not pleasing to him. It appeared to him like as if someone has come with iron chains. The elephants are controlled by chains, and chains have thorns in them. So, once the chains are put on the elephant gets, those thorns begin to control the elephant fast. So Rama was in that predicament, that he is going to be given the kingdom. Bharata is not here. And why should he enjoy the kingdom when all the four brothers enjoyed everything they had? Of course, that's again I'm telling a storyline. The philosophy line, Rama's whole purpose is to bring about destruction of Ravana, ignorance. And when he heard from father and mother that he is to go to forest, it's just like an elephant who was being threatened to be tied up in a most miserable and a terrible way. And now suddenly the elephant escapes. That was the joy that entered the heart of Rama. Raghukula tilak jori do hatha, mudita matu padabanaya umata. Now Rama is before Kaushalya, his mother. With both folded hands, he offered his adorations to mother. And mother, who had no idea of what has happened, all that she thought that Rama is getting blessings because he is going to be coronated. So she began to shower her blessings. Enfolded Rama in her arms and began to shower Bhushan Basan, that's old style shower, certain good things, they scatter, some ornaments are scattered as a symbolic of showering love. You shower love which is not seen, but when you start scattering, you see it. Bara bara mukh chumbati mata, nayan neh jalu polkit gata. And again she is kissing his face. Love goes high, even grown up ones become babies. And joyous tears are coming out of her eyes because she doesn't know yet. The entire body is thrilled. God rakhi puni hriday lagaye. Put him in her lap, embraces him tightly. Sravata prem rasa payada suhaye. And prem ras was flowing, as it were, from her heart. The juice of love. Prema pramoduna kachu kahi jai, ranka dhanada padavi janu pai. Her love and her immense joy cannot be described. As if a poverty-stricken person has suddenly won the big lottery. What type of lottery? He has become Kubera, the god of treasure. I'm putting the word lottery, it's not there. Sadar sundar badanu nihari, boli madhur bachan mahatari. Now looking at Rama, his beautiful, gentle face, and mother spoke with tender heart, sweet words. Kahu tat janani balihari, kabahi lagan mud mangalakari. Oh child, the mother is showering her love on you. Tell me, when is that auspicious conjunction of stars? When is the auspicious time when for you to become coronated? And that will be for me the ultimate climax of all my expectations, all my virtue, all my meritorious deeds, and all my dream of happiness, to see you coronated. And that's the climax of the purpose of life. Yehi chahat nar nari sab ati aarate hi bhaati, jim chatak chataki trishit vrishti saradaritu swati. All men and women of Ayodhya, they all want you to be coronated. Just like certain birds, they eagerly desire shower from the clouds during the winter season. Tat jaun bali ve gunahahu, jo man bhav madhur phal kahu. Oh child, go and quickly take your bath. And then take all these sweets according to your choice. And then you go to the father. It's getting too late. And mother is pleading before you. Matu bachan suni ati anukula, janu saneha sur taruke pula. What this scripture is doing is presenting a contrast. One side, mind is looking at the world according to the dreams led by ego. And another, a spiritual change occurs in this situation, where your first stage is moha, mind that is filled with ego-based illusion. Second stage, ego-based illusion is moving away like when the sun begins to rise, darkness begins to move away. The words of Mother Kaushalya, they were so sweet, gracious, as if they were the blossoms from the kalpaka tree, the magic tree that grants all your desires. Sukhamakaranda bhareshiya mula, nirakhi rama manu bhavaruna bhula. And still describing the mother's attitude towards him, like the kalpaka tree, and her love was like flowers, and the joy emanating from the tree was the nectar from the flowers. And all the kalpaka tree was leading Rama to become coronated. Seeing all this picture of his mother, how happy and delightful and expectant she was, Rama, his mind didn't deviate from his own vision. In poetic language, the mind is like a black bee. Black bees goes after blossoms, but his mind didn't. Again, the message behind it, if you are qualified as a spiritual aspirant, your goal is liberation, then having understood that, and you meet with some worldly minded person and his goal, and he describes all that the world can give. All the description will not shake the resolve you have taken. धर्म धुरीन धर्म गति जा जानी, कहे मातु सन अति मृदुबानी. Rama is dharma dhureen, means skilled in dharma, skilled in practicing dharma, skilled in teaching dharma, skilled in allowing people to be led to dharma. Dharma is path of virtue. And therefore, being super psychologist, Rama spoke very gentle words, gracious. Oh, mother, good news. That's not there. My father has given the kingdom of the forest. Implying Ayodhya is a little this much, a bigger kingdom. And that forest is going to provide for absolute fulfillment for me. All things I want, that forest will give. I will accomplish the purpose of my life. Ayasu dehi mudita madnamata, yahi mud mangal kanana jata. Oh mother, with a cheerful face, give me your permission. So that in my journey to the forest, I am blessed with your goodwill. Don't let your motherly affection sway you. Nothing wrong about it. Not even by mistake should you think it is negative. By your grace, I will have nothing but joy, joyous experience. Baraschari dasa vipin basi karipitu bachana praman. Kaushalya in the meantime is in great suspense. And Rama puts the suspense, puts a spice into the suspense. Says, I will be living there for 14 years. And having kept the words uttered by my father, and to prove that father has given word to Kaikeyi that it is authentic, having done that, I will be coming to you and I will behold your lotus feet. Do not let your mind wither, shine like a lotus. वचन विनीत मधुर रघुबर के सरसम लगे मातूर करके. Rama's words were very soft, sweet, but they came to her heart like a sharp arrows. An heart that has been pierced. And his words, they were so cool. It worked in an opposite way, in a contrary way. It brought drought in her heart. As if a whole flourishing field in a farm suddenly dries up because of drought. कहीं न जाई कछु हृदय विषादु मनहु मृगी सुनि के हरि नादु. The suffering that she is experiencing in her heart cannot be described. It's just like a deer in the forest that has heard the roar of a lion. And once the deer has heard the roar of a lion, now all the pleasant and gracious set around it becomes negative. नयन सजल तन थर थर कापी माँ जहीं खाई जी मीन जनु मापी. Her eyes filled with tears, her body shaking, as if fishes that have sucked in some venomous foam. This relates to people who live in villages, and what happens after a long period of having no rain, suddenly rain comes. First stage, the rain brings to the river all poisoned materials coming from the river, the first stage. It comes like a foam. And when the fishes touch those foam, they all become exceedingly agitated. You have to be a villager to understand. धरि धीरज सुत बदनु निहारी गद गद बचन कहती महतारी. Now Kaushalya exercises now her spiritual status with summoning her patience, looks at Rama's face. Her words are still shaking. And mother says, तात पिता ही तुम प्राण पियारे, देखी मुदित नित चरित तुम्हारे. O child, your father loved you as if you were his very life. And everything you do brings such joy in his heart. Every day he has been full of delight, watching you, loving you. राजु देन कहूँ शुभ दिन साधा, कहे उजान बन कहीं अपराधा. And he had worked hard to set up all these conditions for you to be coronated. But then suddenly, for what cause is he sending you into the forest? What wrong has been committed? Tell me. तात सुनावहु मोहिनी दानु, को दिन कर कुल भयउ कृसानु. Tell me the cause of what happened. Who has become like a fire to create havoc in this solar race? निरखी राम रुक सचिव सुत, कारण कहे बुझाई. सुनि प्रसंगु रही मूक जिमि, दशा बरनी नहीं जाई. Permitted by Sri Rama, the son of minister, told all the story in detail to Kaushalya. Rama didn't say anything. But minister's son said everything. How Kaikeyi had those two wounds and all that. Suni prasangu rahi muka jimi, dasha barani nahi jai. When she heard all this, she stayed dumb. Her condition cannot be described. राखी न सकई न जकही सक जाहू, दुहू भाति उर दारुन दाहू. Now she knew she cannot hold Rama back, because Rama has received from both sides, father and mother. And if she allows Rama to go, she is going to suffer. If she doesn't allow Rama to go, what trouble is waiting? Likhat sudha kar gab likhi rahu, vidhigati bham sada sab kahu. Brahma was going to write Sudhakar, which means moon. But instead of putting the moon, he put Rahu, the demon who has no body, just head. In other words, just giving an astrological picture. If you are under moon, favorable condition of moon, it is joyous situation. Lot of good things will happen in your life. But under Rahu, it will be totally opposite. So, Brahma, who was going to write a wonderful statement, and suddenly something went wrong in his mind. Dharma saneha ubhay mati gheri, bhai gati saap chuchundar keri. Kaushalya now was facing a dilemma. One side, her motherly love. Other side, dharma, the path of what has to be done, the duty must be done according to the laws of righteousness. Now her status is like the simile given in Indian literature, Saap Chuchundar Keri. A dilemma, a snake sucks up a rat, but it's not a rat, looks like a rat. It's called muskrat. Don't think it's muskurat. I'm joking. Muskurat is smiling. Muskrat. The snake takes that. Chemically, it has such things in it that if snakes eats it, snake will die. If it spills out, snake will become blind. So what should you do? Because bhai gati saap chuchundar keri. Rakhau sutai karau anurodhi, dharamujai arubandhu virodhi. If I compel Rama to stay, that will be against dharma. Kahau jaan banato badi hani, sankat choch vivas bhairani. And if you say, oh, go away for it. But then how is she going to bear with it for 14 years? Bahuri samujhitiya pardhara musayani, Rama Bharat do sutab samajani. That since she was well accomplished and trained in spiritual understanding, she exercised her inner understanding and mentally thought within herself that Rama and Bharata both are my own sons. So if Rama goes, Bharata will be a source of support. सरल सुभाव राम महतारी, बोली बचन धीर धरी भारी. With that type of mental status, Kaushalya, with great patience, spoke. तात जाऊं बलि किन्हे हुनी का, पित पितु आयस सब धर्म कटीका. O child, O Rama, now I do understand. You have done what is to be done. And therefore, follow your father's wishes. And you are the crowning glory of those who follow the path of dharma. So follow the path. So even though this shows the motherly love of going to the profound level of what is good for the child, and that in that goodness she sacrifices all her inner dream of joy and happiness. And with this I'm concluding. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchidduka Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om Om Shri Ramayana Om Namah Shivaya.